Prophet Muhammad said, "What is meant for you will not pass you by, and what passes you by was never meant for you." Heartbreak is one of the hardest tests in life. Whether it's a lost love, a broken friendship, or a disappointment that weighs heavy on your heart, the pain feels overwhelming. But as Muslims, we know that with every hardship comes ease. In this video, I'll share 5 powerful ways to heal from heartbreak, using wisdom from the Qur'an and Sunnah to help you find peace, move forward, and strengthen your connection with Allah. Number 1. Strengthen your connection with Allah. Heartbreak can be one of the most painful experiences in life, leaving emotional wounds that feel difficult to heal. However, turning to Allah during these times can provide the comfort, strength, and guidance needed to overcome the pain. Strengthening your connection with Allah not only helps you heal emotionally, but also deepens your faith and understanding of His divine wisdom. One of the most powerful ways to cope with heartbreak is through sincere prayer, dua, and remembrance, dhikr. Allah is Al-Wadud, the most loving, and calling upon Him allows you to find peace in His presence. Engaging in heartfelt supplication reassures you that He is always listening and that your pain is not unnoticed. The Qur'an reminds us in Surah Al-Baqarah 2:186, "And when my servants ask you concerning me, indeed I am near. I respond to the invocation of the supplicant when he calls upon me." Therefore, increasing acts of worship such as reciting the Qur'an and engaging in extra prayers like tahajjud allows you to shift your focus from loss to spiritual fulfillment. The Qur'an serves as a source of healing, reminding you that Allah's plan is always better than your own, even when it is difficult to understand in the moment. Another way to strengthen your connection with Allah during heartbreak is by placing trust in His decree, tawakkul. Often heartbreak is a sign that something was not meant for you, and Allah is redirecting you towards something greater. Accepting that His knowledge surpasses our understanding brings a sense of relief and acceptance. As Surah Al-Baqarah 2:216 states, "Perhaps you dislike something and it is good for you, and perhaps you love something and it is bad for you. And Allah knows while you do not know." Lastly, finding comfort in acts of service and gratitude can be transformative. Helping others in need shifts focus from personal pain to the blessings in life. Gratitude reminds you that despite the heartbreak, Allah has still blessed you in countless ways. Number 2. Accept Qadr, divine decree. Accepting Qadr, divine decree, is a powerful way to overcome heartbreak because it shifts the focus from personal pain to a higher understanding of life's purpose. Instead of holding on to regret or resentment, they can shift their mindset to gratitude, trusting that Allah removes what is not meant for them and replaces it with something better, whether in this world or the next. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Whoever Allah wants good for, He puts them to the test." Heartbreak is a test of patience, sabr, and faith. Instead of drowning in sorrow, a believer can use this time to turn to Allah, increasing in dua, supplication, and salah, prayer. Through worship, the heart finds solace. Islam teaches that this world is temporary and full of tests. Heartbreak is not the end. It is a chapter that Allah has closed for a purpose. When one embraces Qadr, they stop looking back with sadness and start looking forward with hope, trusting that Allah's plan is always better than their own. By accepting Qadr, a person can move on from heartbreak with faith, strength, and hope in Allah's greater plan. Number 3. Engage in productive activities. Heartbreak can be an incredibly painful experience, but Islam provides guidance on how to heal and move forward. One of the most effective ways to overcome heartbreak is by engaging in productive activities. Keeping oneself busy with meaningful work and spiritual growth not only serves as a distraction, but also helps in emotional and psychological healing. When experiencing heartbreak, one should turn to Allah in worship and remembrance. The Qur'an states, "Verily in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find rest." By engaging in prayer, salah, reciting the Qur'an and making dua, a person can find solace and inner peace. Productive spiritual activities strengthen faith and reinforce the belief that everything happens according to Allah's divine wisdom. Islam teaches that helping others can be a source of healing. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "The most beloved people to Allah are those who are most beneficial to others." Acts of kindness not only distract from heartbreak, but also bring immense rewards in both this life and the hereafter. Islam encourages self-improvement and continuous learning. Instead of dwelling on past pain, one can engage in activities that enhance skills, such as studying, learning a new trade, or deepening Islamic knowledge. The Prophet, peace be upon him, emphasized seeking knowledge, saying, "Seeking knowledge is an obligation upon every Muslim." By focusing on personal development, one redirects energy towards self-betterment rather than grief. Taking care of one's body is also an act of gratitude to Allah. Engaging in physical activities such as exercise, walking, or even participating in sports can significantly improve mental well-being. Exercise helps release endorphins, reducing stress and sadness. Heartbreak often leads to feelings of loss and disappointment, but Islam teaches believers to trust in Allah's wisdom. The Quran reminds us, perhaps you dislike something and it is good for you, and perhaps you love something and it is bad for you. Allah knows while you do not know. Surah Al-Baqarah 2, 216. By staying busy in meaningful ways, one not only recovers but also grows stronger, ultimately finding peace and contentment in Allah's decree. Number 4. Seek comfort in the Qur'an and Sunnah. Heartbreak is a painful experience that can leave a person feeling lost, empty, and overwhelmed with sadness. However, in Islam, we are taught that true comfort and healing come from turning to Allah through the Qur'an and Sunnah. These divine sources provide guidance, wisdom, and solace, reminding us that no hardship lasts forever, and that every difficulty carries a lesson and reward. One of the core teachings of Islam is to trust in Allah's divine plan. Placing trust in Allah's wisdom helps us accept what has happened and move forward with faith. The Quran teaches that true tranquility comes from remembering Allah. Verily, in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find rest. Surah Ar-Ra'd 13:28. Reflecting on Allah's blessings reminds us that despite our heartbreak, we are never alone. Salah is a powerful way to find comfort during times of distress. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, would turn to prayer whenever he faced hardships. He said, "Verily, with hardship comes ease." Making heartfelt dua allows us to pour out our emotions before Allah, seeking His help and guidance. The Prophet, peace be upon him, encouraged believers to pray for what is best, knowing that Allah responds in ways that are most beneficial for us. Instead of dwelling on loss, the Quran encourages believers to focus on self-improvement and developing a stronger connection with Allah. By practicing tawakkul, complete reliance on Allah, we learn to let go of our worries, knowing that He will replace our sorrow with something better. In conclusion, seeking comfort in the Quran and Sunnah offers a healing path for those experiencing heartbreak. No matter how deep the pain, Allah's mercy is always greater. Number 5. Surround yourself with righteous company. Surrounding yourself with righteous company is one of the most effective ways to heal from heartbreak, as emphasized in Islamic teachings. The people we associate with have a profound impact on our emotions, mindset, and spiritual well-being. When dealing with the pain of a broken heart, being around those who remind us of Allah and encourage righteousness can bring immense comfort and guidance. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "A man follows the religion of his friend, so each one should consider whom he makes his friend." This hadith highlights the importance of surrounding oneself with righteous individuals. After a heartbreak, feelings of sadness and loneliness can lead one to engage in negative thoughts or behaviors. However, being with people who strengthen our faith helps redirect our focus from despair to hope in Allah's wisdom. True friends remind us that everything happens for a reason, and that Allah's plan is always best, even if we do not understand it immediately. When experiencing heartbreak, it is easy to fall into self-pity or become distant from our spiritual obligations. However, righteous company encourages us to stay steadfast in our faith. The Quran reminds us, "And keep yourself patiently with those who call upon their Lord morning and evening, seeking His countenance." Surah Al-Kahf 1828. Being in the company of people who pray, recite Qur'an, and engage in dhikr, remembrance of Allah, can uplift our hearts. Their presence serves as a reminder that true peace comes from connecting with Allah, rather than depending on worldly relationships. Heartbreak often results from placing too much emotional dependence on a person. Islam teaches us that our ultimate reliance should be on Allah. The righteous remind us that the love of Allah is unconditional and eternal, unlike human love, which can be temporary. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "When Allah loves a servant, he calls Jibreel and says, 'Indeed, I love so-and-so, so love him.'" Being around those who love Allah encourages us to rebuild our self-worth and seek His love above all else. This shift in focus helps in healing, as we learn that no loss in this world is greater than the loss of a connection with our Creator. A righteous social circle motivates us to engage in activities that promote healing and growth. Whether through attending Islamic classes, volunteering, or simply having uplifting conversations, these interactions serve as a distraction from pain while strengthening our faith. The Prophet, peace be upon him, advised, "The best among you are those who bring the most benefit to others." Serving others not only helps us move past our pain, but also brings immense reward and satisfaction. Heartbreak is a test from Allah, and one of the best ways to navigate it is by surrounding oneself with righteous companions. Their presence brings comfort, strengthens faith, and redirects our hearts toward the ultimate source of love, Allah. By staying connected with those who remind us of Him, we find true healing and peace. If you enjoyed this video, you'll love what's next. Click the playlist on your screen to dive into more inspiring Islamic content. May Allah bless you.